Hello friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today we're going to be looking at the anti-TBR tag. If you've never heard of this book tag, all of the prompts pertain to books that I don't ever plan on picking up. Please keep in mind that these are my own opinions, and if you guys happen to love one of these books or one of the authors that I mention, please try and convince me to pick up their books in the comments. I would love to talk to you guys. I will list the prompts along with the original creator in the description of this video. The first prompt is a popular book that you have no interest in reading. For me, this is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So this book is everywhere. People in my home life have mentioned it to me before, people at work, and of course people on BookTube rant and rave about this book. It's been around for a while, but it's definitely a darling of BookTube, and I just am not interested. I do read primarily fantasy, so that's part of it, but I dabble in some other genres, and this book just doesn't interest me because of the fact that it focuses on a movie star. I have found in reading some other books that the movie star, like musician, famous people, I don't know if that's a trope, is just not something that I look for in books, and so yeah, I'll let everyone continue loving this book from afar. Prompt number 2 is a classic that you have no interest in. So for this one, I actually picked a book that I have picked up before, and so I have shown interest in the past. But after reading, I don't remember how much I got through, but I decided that it just wasn't for me. I was very confused throughout the reading, and that is 100 Years of Solitude. I have picked this book up twice now, and both times I found myself having to go back and reread things, and I just don't think it's for me. So I'm going to skip this one as well. Prompt number 3, an author you are not interested in picking up, and for me, I'm going to have to go with Taylor Jenkins Reid. I do think that their books focus on a lot of topics that I'm not interested in, and I already talked about the fact that obviously my primary genre is fantasy, and so it's probably maybe not fair to pick someone who's not in the fantasy realm for this. But like I said, I do branch out into other genres, and their books are always very popular. I hear about them. Malibu Rising was one of the ones that recently came out that everyone raved about. There was one this year. It was a person's name. I can't remember. If I remember it, I'll put it up on the screen, or if I remember, I'll put up on the screen what the book was. I feel like it started with a C. But anyway, all of the premises of the books that I've looked at, because, you know, I want to be part of the hype train too, but they just, the synopsis to the book isn't intriguing to me, and I don't feel like it would be fair for me to read a book and rate it and talk about it on my channel when I wasn't interested in the first place. So I'm happy for everyone else that they absolutely love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I just don't think that her books are for me. Prompt number 4, an author you have tried and will not continue with. So out of all of these prompts, I think this is the one I'm probably going to get the most hate for. I have tried 3 books by this author, and I have just decided that I'm going to walk away, and that is Octavia Butler. I have read Kindred, Dawn, and part of Adulthood Rights, and I think that Octavia Butler is an amazing writer, and obviously you don't need me to tell you that. You can just look at their popularity and people ranting and raving about them, and I wish that I could be part of that. But I think that their writing style and the things that they choose to write about are just a little bit too bleak for me. I don't mind sad books or horrific books or tough topics, but I feel similarly to Victor LaValle. I talked about him recently on my channel. The books that I've read from him are Changeling and The Ballad of Black Tom. And the premises of their books, Octavia Butler and Victor LaValle, sound amazing and pique my interest. But then when I get into them, they're so heavy and there's just no reprieve. And I don't think that that's good for my mental health. I don't respond well to it. Every book that I've read by Octavia E. Butler has put me in a little bit of a slump. and I've always had to read like something like really happy afterwards, and I don't know, maybe it's good for me to like read books like that, but I just don't enjoy them, and so I'm not going to continue with any of Octavia E. Butler's books. Next is a genre that you are not interested in, and for me, I will pretty much read from any genre. I just have to I have to be interested in the premise of a book, but I will say that self-help books are probably not something that I will ever pick up. They all seem very cheesy to me, very commercially to me, and so I don't think I will ever get into that genre. And then I also put on this list poetry. I loved poetry when I was younger, and I haven't gotten into a lot of it as an adult, and I'm not saying that I will never, so maybe it shouldn't even be on this list, but it's just not something that I'm ever drawn to, and it's also something that I do think that sometimes I just don't understand, and so I don't know, maybe that means I need to read more of it and not less of it, but so my main one would be self-help books. I definitely am not interested in that genre, but I would say if you look at the things that I have read, I haven't read any poetry recently, and so I do think that that's a genre that's not intriguing to me. Prompt number 6 is a book that you bought and will never read, or a book that you checked out from the library and returned without reading. So for me, this was The Priory of the Orange Tree, and I'm not saying I will never pick this up. With all of the hype with the second book, I have had kind of a renewed interest in the book, but I still haven't picked it up. And as you know, if you've ever seen The Priory of the Orange Tree, it is definitely a chonky book. So I might still pick it up, but at this point, I'm kind of doubtful. I think that there are other books that are more interesting to me, and so I might just leave that one behind, but who knows. Prompt number 7, a series that you won't read or that you DNF'd. For me, this is another one that I think I might get some hate for in the comments. This would be The Wheel of Time. I love fantasy, and so you would think that that would be my jam, but I think that the amount of content that is out there about The Wheel of Time, I don't think that I would enjoy the series. I am not into reading books upon books upon books to then get to a book that you enjoy, and I know people think they call it the slog. Like there are certain books in that series that people are like, oh yeah, it's not good, but if you get to this book is good. And I am not about that for huge fantasy books. I want to enjoy all of my time, not just, you know, several books in a 14-book series. So yeah, I think that one's one that I probably will never pick up. And the last prompt, prompt number 8, is a new release that you will not read. For this one, I did choose a fantasy novel. It is the second book in a series that I have not started and don't plan on starting, and that is Hellbent. So Hellbent is the second book. The first one is Ninth House. These are by Leigh Bardugo, who wrote I was going to say The Bone Shard Daughter, but that's not right, Shadow and Bone. And I really enjoyed Shadow and Bone for what they were. I did think that they were very YA, and I honestly, this is an unpopular opinion, but I think that the show was better than the books, but that's probably because of the Sixth of Crows character, which I haven't read yet. Anyway, getting off point, Leigh Bardugo wrote Ninth House, which is about, I don't know what gender the main character is, but they go to, I think it's Yale? Is it Yale or Harvard? It's one of the elite institutions, and then they have to, like, there's some murders that are going on, and they focus on some secret societies. It's not something that I've ever found that intriguing, and once again, I've read reviews and watched people's reviews of the books, and I don't feel like I will ever pick this series up. So Hellbent is the new release. It came out in January of this year, I believe. And so yeah, that's the new release that I will never pick up. So that is the anti-TBR tag. If you guys have your own booktube channel and you would like to try out this tag, consider yourself tagged. If you don't have a channel, or if you just don't want to do the tag on your channel, let me know in the comments down below what is a popular book that you will not read. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.